So a 14-2 run, bridging the two quarters for the Aces. Boston is tangled up. Jump ball is the call.
I mean, when you reach around from behind to tie somebody up, that doesn't usually get you a jump ball. I mean, I don't know how. Watch this play right here. Look. They're going to call jump ball from behind? Look at Asia Wilson's like looking at the ref. Elliot Boston's like, you got to be kidding me.
Perfect.
What do you
Here's
do when
the
the
fully
referees are
expanded
clearly trying to hand
2,000-word
your
version
opponent the
of
game?
your original script.
If you're the Indiana
Rewritten
Fever,
with sharp
you
narration,
fight back harder.
deep context,
The game against the
and
Las
emotionally
Vegas
driven
Aces
analysis.
exposed something ugly
It's
about
structured for
WNBA
YouTube
officiating,
narration,
and the
voice
evidence
over
is
delivery,
undeniable.
or blog
From
storytelling,
questionable calls
and it builds
favoring
up
Asia
momentum
Wilson to
while
Stephanie
keeping the
White's
viewer
heated
engaged
reaction,
throughout.
this game had
Expanded
everything.
script minus 2,000
But here's
words,
what really
the Las
happened when the
Vegas
Fever
Aces
players
came out
decided they
swinging,
weren't going to let
going on a
corrupt refs steal their
14-2
victory.
run that
And why
stretched
Caitlin
across the
Clark's
first
sideline
and
reaction
second
tells us
quarters.
everything we need to
For a
know.
moment,
Want to
it
know
looked
exactly
like they
what
were in
pushed
full
Stephanie
control.
White over the edge?
But something else
Let's be
started to
real.
take over.
Coaches don't just
Something that
explode
had
and
little
yell
to do
bullshit
with
at
talent
referees
and
without
everything to
serious
do with
provocation.
control. That
But
control
that's exactly
didn't
what
belong to
happened
either
when the
team.
officiating
It
became
belonged
so
to the
blatantly
officials.
one-sided
The
that
moment
even
came
White couldn't
when
contain
Aliyah
her
Boston
frustration
got
anymore.
tangled up under the rim.
From the opening tip,
Contact from
something
behind,
felt wrong
obvious,
about this game.
aggressive,
The
and
calls
the
started
whistle
flowing
blew,
in Vegas's
not
favor
for a foul,
immediately,
but for
setting
a jump
tone
ball.
that had Fever
From
fans
behind dots,
questioning what
watch
they
the
were
replay.
watching.
Asia
You know what's
Wilson reaches
infuriating?
around Boston,
When you can
wraps
predict
her
which
up,
team will get the
and
favorable
somehow
whistle,
gets rewarded.
camera, as she
No
screamed
foul,
her displeasure
no
at officials
discussion,
who seemed
just a
determined to
jump
protect
ball.
Wilson at all
Aliyah
costs.
Boston's face said it all.
This is the stuff that
Stunned,
pisses me off. Look
disgusted.
at hands
Even
straight
Wilson
up.
looked confused.
Another foul in the
You know
Fever.
a call
The
is
Aces
bad
had him
when the
up
player
11
benefiting
free
from it
throws
raises
to
an eyebrow
2.
dot.
How we
So
watch
now
these
the question
officials,
is,
let's watch these
what do you
screens.
do
They're like
when the
dirty
referees
plays.
start making
You could just
decisions
see them
that seem
checking
designed to
the
keep the other
Indiana
team in
Fever
the game?
all game
If you're
long.
the Indiana Fever,
Like, these are
you respond
not
the
good
only way
screens.
champions do. You fight back
And then watch
harder.
this.
But this
Another,
wasn't just a
like,
single call.
they called
This
so
was the
many
tipping point in the
fouls,
game that
sent
exposed the ugliest
the
truth
Aces
the
to the line.
WNBA
Here's the
is
thing.
dealing with right now.
This wasn't an isolated
Systemic
incident.
favoritism.
Wilson
A pattern of
consistently
officiating
received treatment
that
that other players
disproportionately
could only
benefits
dream
the
of.
league's biggest names.
When Boston
And
made
last
identical
night,
contact
the
in
referees
similar situations,
didn't even try to hide
the
it
whistle blew
from the
immediately.
opening tip.
When
Things
Wilson
felt
did it, suddenly
off.
the refs
It
developed
wasn't just a
selective
missed
vision.
call here or there.
You're watching the
It
same
was the
game,
accumulation,
but different rules
the
apply
tone,
depending on
the way
which
every
jersey you're
physical
wearing.
play by Indiana was
And then
whistled
look at
down.
this. They
while
don't
the
call
Aces
this a
got
foul.
away with
She
hard screens,
grabs Aaliyah
reach-ins,
Boston around
contact
the
in the
back.
paint,
That's what Aaliyah
all without
Boston's
a
saying.
peep from the
And instead of a foul,
And it didn't
they
take
called
long
a
for
jump
Fever
ball.
head coach Stephanie White
But I
to
just showed
explode.
you all
She's
the
not
times.
a hothead.
And look at this.
She's not someone
The
who's
Aces
constantly
player hits
tripping
it
at
out
the
with her
refs.
hand.
But
Ari
last
never
night,
touched it
she
again.
couldn't stay silent
But they give the ball to the
because when
Aces.
Asia Wilson
Look at these
initiates
fouls.
contact from behind and somehow gets a favorable whistle,
And then look at this.
while Aliyah
Sophie
Boston
Cunningham
gets
gets
punished for
knocked
doing the
over in
same
the
thing,
back, but they don't
it
call a
becomes
foul.
clear. The rules
No
are different
foul,
depending
and
on the
Stephanie
jersey
White by
you're
now
wearing.
she is pissed.
What pushed
Sophie
Stephanie White
Cunningham
over the edge
experienced
wasn't just
this
the
double standard
inconsistency.
firsthand.
It was the message it sent.
Plays that got
no
her
matter
called
how
for
hard
fouls
your team
went
fights,
completely
they'll
ignored
always
when
be
Wilson
playing
was the
uphill
aggressor.
if the refs don't want
The
them to win.
inconsistency was so
And
obvious
fans
that
saw it
fans
too.
were screaming at their
Every
screens.
Fever supporter watching could
referees
feel
apply
the
completely
injustice
different
unfolding in
standards
real
to
time.
identical
Social
situations.
media lit up with
Boston faced the
reactions.
same biased
Commentators
treatment throughout
couldn't
the game.
ignore it.
Moves
Even
that
Aces
Wilson
fans had to
executed without
admit
consequence
some of
became
these
fouls
calls made
the
no
moment
sense.
Boston attempted
Let's take a closer
The
look at
pattern
what
was
went down.
undeniable.
Asia Wilson
operated
received
under
5
a
trips
special set
to the
of
free
rules,
throw
while
line in
Fever
the
players
first,
got penalized
half alone.
for breathing too
Aliyah
hard.
Boston,
Competitive in a
0,
game where they were being
despite
outplayed.
absorbing more
The
contact,
referees were
despite
manufacturing
working just as
opportunities
hard
for
in the
Vegas,
paint. The
turning
whistle
what should have
just
been a
didn't
fair
come.
contest into something
And it
that
didn't stop
resembled
their dot.
professional
Sophie
wrestling more
Cunningham
than
was knocked
basketball.
off her spot with
The
clear
free throw
contact
disparity
play
tells
on.
the complete story.
Then, minutes
Vegas shot
later,
17 free throws
she made an almost
compared to
identical
Indiana's
defensive
12,
play.
despite the
Whistle,
Fever attacking the basket
foul,
aggressively
Fever
all
possession
game long.
gone. Vegas
Those
to the
5
line.
extra attempts
You know
weren't
what this
earned through
is.
superior
It's
play.
invisible
They were
favoritism.
gifted by
And when it
referees who
happens
seemed
over
determined
and
to
over
keep the
again,
Aces within
it
striking
becomes
distance.
systemic bias.
But
The
here's
free
what the
throw
refs
disparity
didn't count
tells
on.
the whole story.
Indiana's
Vegas,
fighting spirit refused
17
to break
attempts.
under the pressure
Indiana,
of the field field
just
through 3
12,
quarters while
and those
battling
5 extra
obvious referee
points,
bias
they
that
weren't
disrupted
earned
the
through
team's
superior
flow.
strategy.
Lesser
They were
players
gifted
would have crumbled
by the
under that
officiating
pressure.
crew. But here's what
Mitchell.
makes this game so
She
compelling
saved her best for when it
and
mattered
infuriating.
most.
Despite all
The
of
fourth
that,
quarter belonged to
Indiana
her
didn't back
completely.
down.
9
Kelsey
points
Mitchell
on
had a
4
brutal
of 5
start,
shooting. including
4 of
the
19 from the
game-changing
field through
three-pointer
3
that gave
quarters.
Indiana the lead
She
they
was
never
clearly
surrendered.
rattled, unable to find her rhythm.
Cunningham
But
too
when the
strong.
fourth quarter came,
Mitchell able to
she
save the
rose.
day.
She
And it's
delivered.
Mitchell going
9
right
points
to the
on
rim.
4 of 5
Beats
shooting,
the shot clock and
including
lays
the
it in.
dagger
Mitchell to the
3-pointer
rescue.
that
This
gave
is
the
very
Fever a lead they
disruptive,
refused to
causing all
surrender.
kinds of havoc,
That's mental
late
toughness.
shot clock
That's how you shut down
situations.
corruption
And
with
then
buckets.
Kelsey Mitchell.
And let's talk about Natasha Howard. She completely outplayed A'ja Wilson. 18 points, 13 rebounds, 6 double-doubles this season. She owned the paint
Natasha
and did it on
Howard
both
absolutely
ends. Her
dominated
third
A'ja
quarter
Wilson on both
explosion
ends of the
erased
floor.
Vegas's lead and
Howard
reminded the
recorded
league
her
that
sixth
experience and
double-double
grit can
with
silence
18
even the
points
most
on 6
protected
of 9 shooting
superstar.
and 13
Now
rebounds,
let's shift to someone
completely
who deserves
outplaying
national
the supposed
recognition.
superstar who gets all
Sophie
the favorable
Cunningham.
calls.
She's been on fire
Her
all of
third
July,
quarter
and this
explosion of
game
11
was no
points
exception.
erased Vegas's
15
lead
points on
and
4
showed
of 5
everyone
shooting,
watching that talent
3
beats
of 4
bias
from beyond
every
the arc.
single time.
She's currently shooting
Howard even knocked down a rare
50.1% from 3
three-pointer
over the
and added
last
3
6
steals,
games.
making
Let
this
that sink
performance
in.
a flashback
She's
to
not
the
just
Commissioner's
hot,
Cup game
she's
that had
unstoppable.
Aces fans
And
heading
here's
for
the
the
kicker.
exits early.
She's not even a focal
And that's what
point
Indiana's
in
trying
the
to do here
offense.
with Vegas.
They
10
don't run
rebounds,
sets for her.
showing newfound
She
confidence
just finds her
despite
spots,
getting mugged by the
catches,
refs all
and
night.
lets it fly. It's
Boston's
effortless.
willingness to
Lethal
shoot from
dots
deep
while the refs were
stretched the
doing
floor
their
and
best
created
to slow
problems Vegas
Indiana
couldn't
down.
solve.
Cunningham was a
When you're
walking
getting
answer
fouled on
sheet.
every possession,
Every
but
shot
the
she
refs
hit
won't
was
blow the
another
whistle,
problem the
you
Aces
adapt
couldn't
by
solve.
making shots they can't
Another
take
slap
away
in
from
the
you.
face to biased officiating. Ari McDonald deserves a spotlight too. Quiet game until it mattered most.
Performance was just
One shot
another
in the
day
fourth.
at the office for someone
1
shooting
three.
58.1%
One dagger.
from 3
Game over.
her last
3
6
for
games
3
while
from deep.
averaging
9
13.7 points.
for assists,
Cunningham's
steals,
range and versatile
and
defense
just
made her
22
the
minutes
perfect
on the
complement
floor.
to Indiana's
That's the
core.
definition of
And you could
impactful
see the
minutes.
frustration on
Lexi
A'ja
Hull
Wilson's
brought
face
defensive
every time
intensity
another shot
that
dropped.
flipped possessions.
Offense was not the
Loose
issue for
balls,
Indiana on
hustle
Tuesday. They
plays,
put up
full
84
court
points
pressure.
despite the absence
She
of
doesn't
Caitlin
show
Clark.
up in highlight
Cunningham hit
reels,
5
but her
threes, and it's
fingerprints
her
are
first
all
tonight.
over Indiana's.
Stay
Momentum
with
shifts.
Indiana.
So
And
Sophie
then there's
Cunningham
the
doing a
emotional
really
center
good job
this
of
entire
reading the
story.
stagger.
Caitlin Clark,
You have options
injured,
off that,
benched,
and she's reading
and
the
watching
second.
helplessly
Ari
as her
McDonald
team
saved
was
the
getting
best
jobbed by
moment for
refs
last.
who had clearly
With
decided
35
how this
seconds
game was
remaining
going to
and the
unfold.
game hanging
But
in the
she
balance,
didn't sit quietly.
McDonald buried
She
the
left
clutch
off the
three-pointer
bench.
that sealed
She yelled
Vegas's
at
fate.
officials.
She went
She
3
threw
for
her
3
arms
from
up in
beyond the
disgust.
arc,
And it
including
wasn't
that dagger that was
performative.
the only shot she
It was
took in the
raw,
fourth quarter.
passionate, and
McDonald's
completely
9
authentic.
points, 4 assists,
She's a
and
competitor.
2 steals in 22
She's used to
minutes
controlling
proved that
games.
depth wins champion
But
with
last
equal
night,
intensity.
she had
And look at
to
this
watch from the
travel. This
sidelines
is the
as everything she
craziest thing
stands
ever.
for.
The refs
Fairness,
right in front of the refs'
intensity,
eyes. This
focus,
girl's pivoting
was
on
tossed
2
aside
feet,
by biased
jumping
calls.
around,
That
gets
moment
the
when
ball,
Caitlin jumped
gets,
up and started
I don't
screaming
even
wasn't
know,
about drama.
but Lexi
It
Hull,
was
look at her
validation.
reaction.
Now
If she
you
sees
finally
it,
get to see the
if
moment
she's
Caitlin
reacting
Clark
like that,
completely lost
you
it
know
on the
it's real.
sideline.
She wasn't
Picture this.
frustrated for herself.
Clark jumping up and
She
down
was
in
fighting
pure
for her
frustration.
teammates,
Her
for the
animated
game,
reaction captured
for
on
the
camera
thousands
for
of
everyone
fans
to
who
witness.
tuned in and
You're
said,
watching someone who
"This
can't
isn't
stand
right."
seeing her teammates
You know
get
what
screwed
hurts a
over by
player like
corrupt
Clark more
officiating.
than an injury? Watching a
Caitlin
game
at
she
one
loves
stage
turn into a farce of politics,
jumping up off
favoritism,
the,
and rigged
off
whistles.
the bench.
But here's the twist. That
start
same
screaming
frustration.
refs.
Clark sat
It will fuel
helplessly
her
on that
comeback.
bench,
Because
forced
now
to watch
she's not
referees
just playing to
systematically
win.
try to steal her
She's
team's
playing to
victory
fix
with
something.
increasingly
Broken dot
obvious
this win
bias.
mattered. It wasn't just
Every
another regular
questionable call
season
that went
W,
against the
it was a
Fever
statement.
was another knife twist
Against
for
the
someone
odds,
who lives and
against the
breathes
league's
basketball.
golden child, against
You know
rigged
what's torture
whistles.
for a competitor
The Fever
like Clark?
didn't just beat the Aces,
Being unable
they
to
beat the
impact
officials.
game while watching
They
officials
beat the
hand
narrative.
advantages to the
They
opposing
beat the
team.
script the league tried to
The
write for
specific
them.
call that sent
Their
Clark
record,
into her animated
13 to
outburst
12.
involved
But what
another
matters
controversial
more,
decision
the
by
season
referees
series win over
who seemed determined
Vegas,
to protect
which
A'ja
gives them
Wilson.
a crucial T-breaker
Clark
for
saw
playoff
exactly what
seeding.
fans missed in real
And they
time.
did it without their
The subtle
superstar
contact
dot,
that
so
should have
let's
been
zoom
called,
out.
the
Sophie
positioning that created
Cunningham
an
is
unfair
shooting
advantage,
career best
the
numbers and
split-second
quietly
decision
making her
that
case
favored
for
Vegas
6th
once
player
again.
of the year. Kelsey
Her
Mitchell
reaction
is
wasn't
delivering
random
under
emotion.
pressure,
It was
proving
the
she's
response
one
of
of the
someone
most
who
clutch
understands
guards in the
basketball
league.
at the highest
Natasha
level,
Howard is
recognizing
redefining
corruption when she
leadership
sees it.
in the paint.
But that's a
Aaliyah
foul.
Boston is dominating
Ari
even when she
McDonald
gets
goes
no
up
whistle.
and gets
Ari
hit in the
McDonald
air,
and Lexi
no
Hull
foul
are
call,
becoming
right?
Indiana's unsung backbone. And
And then
Caitlin
they
Clark,
call a foul
she's
on her
watching,
for not even
learning,
touching a person.
fuming, and
That was
waiting
a
for
foul
her
call on Ari
return. But
McDonald.
this
Look at
is
this.
how championship cores are
And then
built. Not
touch
when
foul
things go
Asia
well,
Wilson.
but when they go wrong,
And then
the
here we
team
go,
still
another
finds a way
touch
to
foul
win.
for the Aces.
Make no mistake,
Like,
This
how
Fever
many
squad is
times
dangerous,
did they
not
call
just
fouls
because
on
of
the
their
Fever,
talent,
but they want this
but
to be a
because of their
physical
resilience.
game.
When
Clark's
a team
injury
wins
made this
games they weren't
experience even
supposed
more
to,
painful.
when they hold it
She's
together
used to
under
controlling
pressure,
games with her play,
when they rally
but now she
around
could only watch the
injustice and come
corruption
out
unfold
stronger.
from the sidelines.
That's how legends are
Every
made.
bad call
And the
hit different
WNBA
when you're
better wake
powerless
up,
to respond
because
on the
this
court.
team, they're not
Her
going to
visible
ask
anger
for
became the
fairness.
voice every
They're
Fever
going to
fan
take
needed
it.
in that
They're
moment.
going to force the league
You
to
want
respect
validation?
them. And when Clark
Clark's
returns,
reaction proved what
with
every
this
Fever
much
supporter
fire
was
already
screaming
burning,
about throughout the game.
the entire league is on
When the
notice.
best player in
Let me
women's
know
basketball
if you
gets
want a
that
shorter
fired up
version
about
for reels,
officiating,
shorts,
you know something's
visual
seriously
scene
wrong.
breakdowns, or
Her
thumbnail
frustration
title
wasn't
ideas.
just about one